What's up, everybody? Okay, today's episode is going to be super fun because you're about to find out even more about me. This one's a little scary though, not gonna front. Normally I've seen this done with other people, but because this show is called All Things Adrienne, I was like, I could do this on my own. So we're about to do it on my own. You're about to find out if I have ever... I have never. Do I have to be honest, right? Yeah, being honest. Yeah, God likes honesty. We're gonna go with being honest. I'd like to be a good sport, so I'm gonna answer as many as I feel my husband and the Lord would want me to. Here we go. Oh, heck yeah, I've absolutely forgotten. Oh. I have. Have I ever been stood up on a date? Let's knock on wood around here, folks. I have never, but I feel like I've definitely been stood up by like a girlfriend or plans, and that is a joy like no other. When you get stood up and you never wanted to go anyway. I make plans at 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 1 p.m., I don't want to do what I have scheduled. So that makes it really interesting for Lana, right, Lana? She'll make all these appointments that I have in my mind of things I want to do. By like 10 a.m., an hour later, I'm like, leaving my bed, not so much. Oh, I had a teacher named, can I say this teacher's name? Because I don't want y'all to hate on, like, okay. Her and I had some struggles. I was very hyperactive and probably being as crazy as I am today, but a little aversion. And obviously if I'm little today, imagine how little I was at 5 years old. And I was being crazy on the side, doing something when you're supposed to line up for school. If anybody else went to New York City public schools, you didn't have to line up in the courtyard with your class. Well, she yanked my arm to pull me into the line, and it came out the socket. So suddenly there were other teachers standing around, and it went whoop, and then my shoulder cap suddenly was somewhere down here. It was very strange. And I obviously yelped and screamed and was like, ah! Like, I think what freaked me out more, and the fact that I remember this perfectly, was seeing it and being like, oh, where's my arm? Sorry, but I was like, come on. Some parents petitioned that she should not teach children of that small of an age. So then she actually became a 5th grade teacher. Well, come around to 5th grade, who do you think is my teacher again? Not only is she already just annoyed that she has to teach 5th grade, but here comes the kid that made me have to teach 5th grade. She would complain about me every single day, and my mom walked up to her one day and said, I'm just curious, is there any time she ever does anything right? And if that is, can you please start giving me those reports instead of everything that she's doing wrong? So one day, I got 100 on a spelling test. The woman proceeded to call my mom and accuse me of cheating. Look at me, here I am. Look at all this. The girl that couldn't get 100 on a score. Where are we? Oh, okay. Sorry. She didn't think I was capable of getting 100, therefore she suspected that I was cheating, which I absolutely did not cheat on that test. She took me to the principal's office. They badgered me, questioned me, and pretty much we fought. I got suspended. Love my mom to death. She never would take no for an answer, and she fought for me and had the suspension removed, and I got to come back to school. So yes, I was suspended, but the way my mother works, came back and I was like, boom, suspension where? Okay. My have I is down there somewhere. I am not proud of this, but I have. Kids, don't do this. Learn from my mistake. We had a Rite Aid that was in the corner of my neighborhood, and people would steal from this Rite Aid. It was super easy to do. I had a Gap shearling jacket, and I wore the jacket down to the point where the pockets of the jacket now had huge gaping holes in them that kind of would lead all the way back. So I had like the perfect thief coat, but it was not done on purpose. Like I didn't cut the pockets out. No, I had just worn it for so long that it had holes in the pockets. So if I put something in my pocket, it would just kind of drift all the way to the back, and then I'd have to like either go fish for it. Anyway, I realized that this could come in handy for stealing. So I went into the store with my cousin, Claudette. I have a sister and a cousin named Claudette. It was a very popular name for Puerto Ricans. There was a hurricane that hit. Everyone named their kids Claudette. Don't ask. We go into the store. She's actually buying stuff. I see a VO5 hot oil treatment. I look at my ends. I'm like, oh girl, we parched. We might need this. Get that. I also then saw a black eyeliner from Wet n Wild, just a long black eyeliner. It was 99 cents. Saw that and I was like, ooh, I might want to line these eyes of mine. So I take both of the things, put it in my pocket. When I put it in my pocket, I'm like, ooh wee, let me not just put it in my pocket, but let me shuffle it on back. My cousin goes to pay for whatever she's gonna get. I don't tell her anything. I'm just living my best life. So as we're walking out, these guys that are undercover detectives walk up to us and they're like, word, hermana, I can't believe you. Why, you're gonna let your little sister do that? That's what you're gonna let your little sister do? And she's looking at them like, what the heck are you talking about? And he's like, wow, I can't believe you would let your little sister do that. You're letting your little sister steal for you? Next thing I know, folks, I'm in handcuff aisle 4. They like have me arrested. They then arrest my cousin. So they make us go back in. They're like, you both are under arrest. And we're like, what? And they're like, we have you on video stealing. My cousin is like, I didn't steal anything. I just paid for this. Poor girl. She was completely innocent. She had nothing to do with it. Me, on the other hand, I knew what I had floating around the back of my shirling. And so they take us to the back, and when I tell you the interrogation is so next level, yo, they held me in the back of that Rite Aid for a very long time and told me I was gonna get beat up in jail, that girls were gonna punch me, that I was too cute to go to jail. The men were being a little fresh, not gonna lie, that got weird. My cousin is crying because they're telling her she's an adult, and she's like, I didn't even know, I swear I didn't know. They're like, you knew, and I'm like, no, really, real talk, she did not know. We didn't have cell phones at the time. So I call my house phone, and of course, no one is there because they're dropping off Heidi in Brooklyn. So we have no phone call. I beg for a second phone call. This is all in the back of the Rite Aid, by the way. They never take me down to a precinct. The only person I know is the person that lives across the street, my cousin Desiree's husband, Danny Acevedo. Danny, I got arrested at Rite Aid. Can you please come get me? This thug starts crying on the phone. Oh, Adrienne, don't go down the same path I did. And I'm just like, Danny, please, Danny, focus, Danny. He's like, oh, Dios santo. He starts crying. He's praying for me over the phone, hoping that I'm not going down this bad path. And I'm like, Danny, please stop crying. Just come get me. So Danny lives across the street. That's a quick little walk. He walks downstairs, comes to the Rite Aid, and comes to get me. And so the craziest part is they search my pockets. They take out the VO5 hot oil treatment. They take out the liner. And then they find a wad of cash. So the worst part was I had the money to purchase these things. I just didn't want to, which is like so terrible on so many levels. When I finally got home and I had to talk to my mother, one of her questions was, I sang in church that day. This is the Rite Aid around the corner from the church that I was singing at. So I sang in church and then was stealing afterwards. And my mom was like, someone could have seen you. Such a disgrace to our family. And she was just really embarrassed about it. And then we had to pay like a $250 fine that I had to work and pay for. All that being said, I learned my lesson. I will never steal ever again. It's not worth it. It says terrible things about your character and about your mindset. And it was just so not worth it. Oh, I forgot the other part. They took my Polaroid picture and they had it hanging in the store. So all my friends would go into Rite Aid and I would have to sit outside. So if anybody has that Polaroid picture of me in the back of Rite Aid arrested, congratulations. I have never thrown up on a roller coaster. I take it like a G. Fun fact, growing up, I was petrified of roller coasters, but my family would convince me to go on them, specifically my father, Papi Lindo. And Papi Lindo gave me some great tactics on how to handle big drops and roller coasters. Papi Lindo tip. When you're going up, you have to, in Spanish, he would tell me, respira profundo, which means breathe profoundly. So when you know that's coming and you're going up the thing and it's like, doesn't that kind of sound like it? No. whatever. I used to be able to do the sound of it. Anyway, so it goes up, up, up. And then when you know it's about to happen, respira profundo, he would say. And I'd hold his hand and we go. And then coming down, we'd scream, se me cae el pelo, se me cae el pelo, se me cae el pelo, which means my hair is falling off. My dad was always bald my whole life. So we'd scream, se me cae el pelo, 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 until we'd land. And yeah, pretty much we'd end the ride and his little 3 wispies up here would be flying in the wind. It was phenomenal. So I still do that till this day. A few weeks ago, I took my dad, who is almost 80 years old, to Universal Studios. We got on the Mummy. He requested to go on it twice, and we screamed, se me cae el pelo, se me cae el pelo, se me cae el pelo. I have never thrown up because I was too busy screaming, se me cae el pelo. I'm not sure. I'd like to think I have, and I don't know if this is considered a paranormal experience or a spiritual experience. One day I was going to get something in my bedroom, and I looked by and I saw, tell me if I was the only one that growing up wore large t-shirts as our pajamas. Yeah, panties and a big t-shirt. Okay. My sister would wear that for pajamas and so would I. And I was walking and I saw her in the big white t-shirt. And I was talking and I'm like, something, something, something. Then I walked back out of the room and my sister was in the living room. And I was like, I was just talking to you in the bedroom. She's like, I wasn't in the bedroom. I saw the thing, I saw it move. It walked this way and then it walked past again. And I was talking to it. I saw this person in white. So I'd like to think I've seen an angel. Can I get an absolutely instead of a have I? I have. I absolutely have. Multiple times. On my honeymoon, I went to St. Lucia for my honeymoon. We had our own pool that overlooked a cliff and the ocean, and it was all outdoors, like there were no walls. And so I technically never wore a bathing suit that entire honeymoon trip. Both Israel and I just swam naked in our private pool. Is that skinny dipping still? Oh, and then one time me and my sister, we were at our homeboy Chegwi's house, and at Chegwi's house in upstate New York, we took our clothes off and we just went in our panty and bra. Is that skinny dipping? I've been definitely skinny dipped somewhere else. I can't remember, but I definitely have. I have. Yo! I want a wedding crash so bad. So I have never, and I have. I have never wedding crashed. I would want to so badly. But fun fact, back in the day, 3LW crashed a prom. We were touring and we were staying in a hotel that had a prom going on in it, like a Sheraton or something. We'd never really attended our own prom. So we were like, well, this will be fun. Like, let's just join. It's a bunch of kids that are the same age as us. We crashed, and not only did we crash, we performed at their prom impromptu, which was super cool. Good times, I tell you. Oh, and another time I crashed the party, Prince was doing a private performance in his home the week of the Grammys. Well, obviously nobody invited me, but we were like, how can we see Prince perform live in his living room? So the guy that worked at the radio station told us 2 names of people that were not arriving. Lisa and Susan from Clear Channel. Am I making this up? We took their names, we rolled up. Hi, we're from Clear Channel Water somebody. And this is Lisa and I'm Susan. Do I look like a Susan? I don't think I look like, that sounds like somebody's grandma. Sorry if your name is Susan. They let us in the party. We walk in, there's purple lights, and the man had his symbol in the driveway. We went up, he had an elevator in his house, there was a bar. I saw Prince perform live with Sheila E. and those 2 twin girls that used to sing backup for him in his living room. That was worth crashing. Sheila E. and my husband are great friends, and after me crashing a party to see Sheila E., guess what? Sheila E. now attends my Thanksgiving party at my house. Not just her, but the whole family. Her brother, her parents, amazing. We love you, Sheila. Of course! If you married and you ain't never sexted, I want to apologize on your behalf to your husband, because that's just ridiculous. If your husband travels or he's out of town, come on, people. Come on. Nobody said you have to be mad graphic with it, but for sure, I'd like to tell you to don't do anything I would do. Keep it classy. Out of the vagina? I'm confused about this question. I have seen a baby come out of a vagina on YouTube. I have never seen a baby come out of a vagina in person. I have been there. Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. I have never. Okay. Israel Houghton. I'm sorry. I have seen.
Distinguished guests here, and all we hear is vagina.
Welcome to All Things Adrienne.
What does your mom say vagina?
My mom doesn't call it a vagina. My mom, ever since I was like, make sure you clean your vagina. Virgina? How did it become a virgina? She's like, keep it a virgin vagina. Moving right along. Oh, I'm sure I have. I just, it was probably so traumatic, I've erased it from my memory. I'm gonna say I have never been trapped in an elevator. Let's knock on wood, people, because the way my claustrophobia is set up, I have an elevator in my home. It has never trapped me in there. I've slept in the elevator before, which I do not recommend. It's not good for oxygen purposes. But the way that my fear is set up of staying in my house by myself, okay, guys, come on. I went from living in an apartment to living in a 3-story house. The ice machine makes noise. It's interrupted our All Things Adrienne filmings. So we know that if you hear that ice machine in the middle of the night, I really thought I was dying. So instead, I took my phone. By the way, my phone works perfectly in the elevator. I brought a blanket and a pillow, and it worked just fine. I survived the night sleeping in the elevator in our house. So would that be considered being trapped? Maybe so. So I have. I'm really proud of this. I have never broken a bone or I have never broken a bone or gotten stitches. I also don't have any scars on my legs. I also am not athletic. I also never participated in sports or stop laughing. Oh my God, is that a bruise? All right, I have a bruise. I bruise very easily, but I have no scars except for, oh great, I didn't get any scars on my legs, but I've got them on my face. I've got the 2 on my eyebrow and the 1 sliced down here. Well, there you have it, people. So many fun questions. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you learn something new about me today? I hope so. Let me know what that was. Love you guys. We shall do this again. Add some questions that you want answered, and maybe we'll do it again, including your questions. Love you. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.